Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. So I did this card first and I wanted to show you an easier way, in my opinion, an easier way to do this if you're not good with glitter or you don't like the mess of glitter and you don't have some of the supplies like the sticky paper. It's one of those things where I have a way that I do it and it's a little bit differently than the way Jennifer McGuire did it, and I thought I'd show you both techniques. My technique is this one, and I've made other cards and other videos with this. Oh, I've got my little dot moved a little bit on there. Anyway, was more like that, and this is more her style, where she used the sticky paper that she applied the glitter to. Now, I was going to do this all in one video, but I thought maybe it would run too long, so I made it into two. So I do apologize that you're kind of watching the same kind of card, but it is a different technique, and I wanted you to see it. So you're going to take your card base, which is again your typical size, 4.25 by a 5.5 size card. That's your base. You're going to keep it folded, and we're going to use glue stick on this. So you're going to want glue sticks, and you're going to want embossing powder that's got glitter in it. If you don't have it, I'm going to show you how to make your own. But this is in case you don't have this. And this was a piece of glitter paper where it's already done for you, and all you do is cut it up. This is the easiest way, by far the easiest way. And you can get a pack of these relatively inexpensive at Joann's or Hobby Lobby when you have the coupon. But I've already cut this color up, and we're going to use three colors. We're going to use the red, white, and a pink again. So you're going to have a white layer. Alright, so what I've done is I've already made my batch, we'll call it, of embossing powder with the glitter in it. And the way you do that is, this is just Stampin Up, and this color is Melon Mambo. It's a really pretty pink, and you just put a little bit of it in the bottom. You don't need a ton, and I'm just going to add a little bit more so you see me making it. And then you're going to take glitter, and again, this is very fine glitter by Stampin Up, and it's called Dazzling Diamonds. And then you're going to mix the two together, and I just do this until it looks just like the glitter is completely through it. You see how that looks? And so you want to make sure that I'm trying to get my light better so you can really see it. You just want to make sure that the glitter is completely combined. Now I'm going to do the white first because I have it out. You're going to want to work on scrap paper. That's one of the most important parts of this because you're going to make a little bit of a mess. And what we're going to do is we're going to take an old Versamark pad. Am I on the right paper? Yeah. I just used a piece of 5.5 by 4.25 paper, and it's 110-pound cardstock, but it doesn't need to be that thick. Mine just is. I just keep thinking this is thicker, but it's not. And you're going to want to just smash it down, the Versamark, on the paper as much as you can. Now this is in the event that you don't have glitter paper. We're going to make our own glitter paper, so you know that it's not necessary for this card, but if you want to make it, I just want to show you how. If you didn't want to make it, then you're learning something you didn't want to learn. I swear this is the creepiest thing. It just feels like there's two pieces. It's making me nuts. Okay, I'm not going to run my little pouch over this because I'm covering the whole paper with the Versamark and making sure it's really well adhered. Then after I do that, I'm going to take my embossing powder and I'm going to go over the whole paper, or as much of it as possible, the first time, and dump it back in. And I'm going to go over the parts I didn't go over the first time, and try to move that around so that we cover as much of the paper and get as little of it on our our scrap paper as possible. But if we do get on our scrap paper, you can always scoop it up and fill the spots in that you didn't fill before. Let me just get those last few spots filled in. As I said, it's not crucial that you fill the whole page, but if you can, it's great because then you can use the whole page. Whatever you don't get covered with the embossing powder, you'll just use as scrap paper for some other project. Okay, so that is the white, well, yeah, the white with glitter. And then we're going to, I'll show you how, it's the same process with the pink. So we're going to start back again with our pad. Just going to press it in, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Only this time we're going to use the Melon Mambo that we turned into glitter Melon Mambo by putting the Dazzling Diamond glitter in it. It's very easy, and I'm not going to make you watch me do the same process where I put the powder down, and I'm not going to make you watch me heat set all of this. I just wanted to tell you that much, and then we'll be back as soon as both of those processes are done. So the hello sentiment is from Paper Smooch's Bold Buzzwords, and the punch I used was a 2.5 inch oval, and then I went around the outside edge with this pink Wet Looks by Marvy. It's that embossing marker that I used, and I did show, I did send people to the Marvy website so that they could find those markers. I don't know where they still sell them at because I bought mine a long time ago, so I apologize. I don't know where they came from, but on the flip side of that, mine are still wet after all this time, so I would really recommend them because of that, and they work great. So that is where the punch and the word came from. Didn't want to forget to tell you that. If you have a guillotine trimmer, it's the easiest way to do it, and what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to slide it at an angle. There's a bar here that you want to put it under. You're going to slide it at an angle, and you want to create long pointed pieces. The important part here, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. He needs to get out of there. You just want to really make sure you get as many of these pieces to be as long as possible, but some of them you won't need to be as long, because when you do this project you'll find that some, well, I'll show you when I get to the parts that make sense, and I'm not going to make you watch any more of me doing this. I'll do the white and I'll be back. Okay, so you can glue this a million different ways. You can use glue stick, you can use wet glue, you can use glue, the double-sided sticky tape. You can do whatever you want. I've done this many times, and when I do it, I like to do it with a glue stick. I don't know why, but I just feel confident that the glue is adhering, and I can keep adding glue as I go, because when I'm under these lights, the glue starts to dry out. And so I like to put a ton of glue on to start, and then I add more as I go. I'm only putting glue, obviously, on the front of my card, and the first step in this is deciding where do I want the middle of my card to be. I'm not a girl that likes to be in the very center of the card. I like mine to be a little bit off the middle. So when I do it, and this is the key, you're going to pick your center point, and I'm going to pick that spot right there to be my center. And I'm going to make sure that my edges butt up against each other, and by edges I mean these lines, these side lines. The point in the center is not crucial. Don't fret if you're kind of askew. That's not a big deal, because you're not going to see that anyway. We're going to be putting something over it. You see right there, I've already put the white off to the side. Not a big deal. Don't worry about that. Next is making sure you're alternating your colors in the order you started in. So when you get to your ends, your corners, this spot right here. You just need to make sure that you've got glitter all the way up to that corner, because if you pick a piece that's too short, then what's going to happen is you're not going to have coverage once you cut it off. So you want to be careful about that. That's my word to the wise. And now I'm going to go around this corner, and so if I have a shorter piece, that's where you want to use the short piece, but I guess I don't have any really short pieces, so I'll just stick that one in there, that red one, and just put it right there. And that's moving my center point. I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of moving my centerpiece so it's not as it's not where it was to begin with. And again, I'm putting down a short piece, but I'm making sure that on this edge it's covered. And again, go with a small piece of pink. Short, when I mean small, I mean short. Okay, putting a little more glue down because I want to make sure that none of this unglues as we go. My next is red. I'll go with that's not the kind of piece I want. I'll go with this if I need to. I could always cut it and use the other piece on another project if I have to. And then a shorter white piece. It doesn't look like I have too many short white pieces. My center keeps moving, but it doesn't matter, as I said, because I've got a big piece to go there, so it's not going to be a big deal. A big covering, so nobody will see it. That piece is really too far askew. And a little red one. And I'm going to have Rich speed it up so you don't have to watch me do the rest of this. You can just kind of you know, assume that you got at this point you've kind of got the idea. Okay, now the most important part at this point is to let it dry. So we're going to just let this take some time to set up, and we'll be back and cut it out. Okay, so our next step is going to be to cut out the back of the card. If you cut it from the front, it's really complicated, so I recommend you starting at the back, and you're just going to cut along the edge of the card. It makes it so much simpler. It makes your life way easier. And cut all the way to the edge. Now you'll end up with glitter on the back of your card, as in all things with glitter. You just, you know, glitter's just glitter. You're going to end up with it. It's just the way it goes. So, you know, you're going to have to, at the end we'll wipe it off. You know, the glitter, we'll try to get the rest of the glitter off, but you still might have some. Just the way it works with that glitter. It goes everywhere. If you ever played with glitter, you know the rule there. It just goes where it wants to go. I put down another scrap paper here because what I want to do with this is, although I could use those for another card, it's just too complicated to try and make them into points. So I'll just throw those out and use something else on another day. So here's our card, and what I thought I would do is in the center here where we already have everything come to a point, and it's starting to look like a starburst, or a sunburst, excuse me, we're going to put this up on dimensionals, and I have these kind of bigger dimensionals. I thought I would just put one on either end, or 1.5, to make the card a little bit, you know, a little bit more than a one-dimensional card, just a little bit raised. This is not; these aren't big pieces. They aren't thick. I mean, pieces of this, so it's not a big deal. I don't think. Put my hello. Make sure you open your card. That's another thing that happens with these cards, is sometimes you don't know which is the top and the bottom because you've glued it and played and turned it so many times. You just want to make sure before you put your hello down that you know you put it in the right place. So that is our hello card. All I need to do now is my envelope. And the envelope, I'm just going to put some of this washi on it that's silvery, and I'm going to use glue stick again because for some reason when I bought that washi, it didn't have any kind of stick on the back of it. So all I do then is I improvise. Why throw it out? You know, it works. It just needs to be a little glue on there. And so I just put a little glue stick on the back and we're rolling. And there. I like to hold it down a couple times like that so that we really keep it. There's that. So here are our cards. Our first card is the one that is Jennifer McGuire inspired, where she showed you how to do the glitter, and it is by far the messiest of all of these because of the really big glitter mess you make. Then I tried to videotape this one, which is the same technique, but that memory card left the building. I don't know where it went, but it's gone. So you don't get to see that on film, but I did make a cute little envelope for it because I'm going to give this one to Rich, and he doesn't care if it goes in the mail, so it's going to just have these little beads on it that are raised. So that's Rich's card. Don't tell him. Wait, he does the video editing, so he will know about it. Don't look, Rich. Anyway, so that's that one. And this is the last one that you and I just made together that says hello on it. The key to this one is making sure you use a lot of that glue stick, and if it looks like it's going to lift up, like this one might lift up, I would put more glue stick under it or some wet glue under it just to ensure that it doesn't come out of, it's glued in, how it's glued right now. So that is our shiny card using glitter or using glittery embossing powder, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and please tell one friend, just one friend, about my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.